Hello and welcome everybody to my prediction show. My name is Izzy. Thank you for joining my channel. To all the new subscribers, welcome and thank you for joining this community. And for anybody considering, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. And while you're at it, hit that like button to let YouTube and everybody know that you are enjoying this content. We are going to be previewing the best of the action from the Premier League that's going to be taking place, starting off with Aston Villa against Brighton, a game that I have Aston Villa winning 2-1. Now, I have various reasons for this. Aston Villa are coming off of some very good games recently. They beat Chelsea 1-0 away at Stamford Bridge, but Brighton have been doing very well in the league themselves. The reason why I have Aston Villa just edging this game is because I think that there's going to be a clash of similar styles. Aston Villa under Unai Emery tend to play a very possession-based game. On the other hand, Roberto De Zerbi is rewriting the way we see teams that are challenging the top six play. He is going into each and every game believing that he is equal or probably even better than the opposition. But Aston Villa are playing at home. And aided by the fact that Aston Villa have a very good recent record against Brighton. They have won their last 4 fixtures. Now, I am a history buff and I tend to lean into history because I do believe that it gives you a little bit of an insight to what to expect when the two teams face off. That didn't aid me in some of my most recent predictions. However, I do think that Aston Villa are strong enough, and aided by their 12th man at Villa Park, I think they will take this game just 2-1. It's going to be a very important game in the midfield because both sides like to hold on to the ball. So whoever is able to hold on to the ball more and have the confidence to finish off their chances is going to win this game. Brighton will probably edge the possession simply because I think they hold the ball better than Aston Villa. I do think up front, Aston Villa with Ollie Watkins and maybe Danny Ings to come in are going to be able to knock out Brighton. It's going to be a bold prediction, but I do have Aston Villa winning this game 2-1. Next up, Manchester United are hosting Crystal Palace in a game that I am predicting Manchester United to win 2-0. Manchester United have been having a little renaissance of late, and their crisis is slightly being averted by the fact that they are getting results. Crystal Palace do not have that bad of a record at Manchester United recently. They have been able to win 3-1 a couple of seasons back, and I do believe that they also won 2-1 a few seasons earlier. However, I think that Manchester United, coming off of just beating their opponents this week in the League Cup, know how to play against Crystal Palace. And with the confidence that they're going to have from winning in the EFL Cup, they are probably going to carry that onto this game. And I really don't see Crystal Palace causing them too much problems. Reason being, Crystal Palace do not score enough goals. And I think away from home, they have not been performing as well. Aided to the fact that they don't have Wilfred Zaha anymore. And I just don't see anybody stand out enough to be able to carry them over this game. I also don't think that their midfield is going to cause Manchester United's midfield as many problems as other teams have been able to. We saw how Wolves were able to run right through the middle and break down Manchester United's defense simply because Casemiro and Eriksen are not offering enough of a shield. We have seen other teams also do the same to Manchester United. We saw Brighton do it as well when you saw the goals that came from Pascal Gross, and we saw the wing play that was able to tear them down. I just don't think Crystal Palace are going to be strong enough to hold off Manchester United, and as such, I have them losing this game 2-0. Next up, we have Newcastle, and they host Burnley. Newcastle are coming off of one of the best performances that we have seen from a team individually this season when they absolutely shellacked Sheffield United 8-0 away from home. And then followed that up by beating the treble winners Manchester City at St. James's Park. So it makes this decision a lot easier for me to see them beating Burnley 3-1. Burnley themselves are coming off of some decent performances, not to mention their Manchester United performance last week, but they still didn't get anything from that game. I have this game going 3-1 in favor of Newcastle. I am giving Burnley the benefit of the doubt to score simply because I think that their play usually warrants a goal. However, at a bouncing St. James's Park, coming off of 2 very huge monumental victories, I just can't see them causing Newcastle too many problems. I think Newcastle will make this game very comfortable for themselves if they continue to do whatever they did against Sheffield United, especially what they did against Manchester City. Their defense looked a little bit more solid. So I have them winning this game 3-1. Burnley are still going to try and play the same. They're going to try and play their possession-based game. But in a bouncing St. James's Park, that is going to be extremely hard to do. And once they fall a goal down, it's going to be very hard to see them come back in this game. We follow that up by Manchester City's visit to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, Wolves have not beaten Manchester City since the 2019-20 season, a season in which Liverpool ran away with the title, aided by the fact that Wolves did the double over Manchester City. And Man City have repaid that and then some. They have beaten Wolverhampton Wanderers ever since, including a host of very huge scorelines. Kevin De Bruyne's virtuoso performance when they beat them 5-1 at Molineux a couple of seasons ago. I have this game going 4-1 to Manchester City. I think Man City are going to overpower Wolves simply because Wolves do not score enough goals, something that we've talked about a lot on this channel. Man City, on the other hand, score a platitude of goals, and they're going to be trying to rectify the performance they had in midweek when they got knocked out by Newcastle. They're going to be having to deal without Rodri in this game, but I don't think it'll affect them as much as it's possibly going to affect them next week when they travel to the Emirates to take on Arsenal. They're trying to build up enough of a cushion against the teams that are chasing them, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Tottenham at the moment. So a 4-1 victory is what I think I see in the future for this game. I wouldn't be surprised if Manchester City don't concede anything at all. Next up, we have Arsenal traveling to Bournemouth. Bournemouth have a terrible record against Arsenal. As a matter of fact, they have only beaten them once since they faced each other in the League Cup in 1987. A solitary victory towards the end of Arsene Wenger's reign that has a lot of anomalies in the results, in the fact that the team was just not doing well. During that time, Bournemouth managed to beat them 2-1, I believe somewhere in the 2017-18 season. This game, I do see Arsenal being able to take control of it. Bournemouth have been a recently different type of proposition for a lot of teams to play. They haven't been playing that badly. They are doing okay as far as trying to fend off the relegation area, but they do need to start picking up results, because the three promoted sides, as well as Everton, are pretty much the reason why they are not in more serious danger as it looks. So I have Arsenal winning this game 3-0 because I think Arsenal are going to be far too strong for them. I think that Arsenal need to pick up their play a little bit. They need to work a lot better on certain things that they did not do in the Tottenham game. They are very ponderous in attack, and even worse off, they are now having injuries or injury niggles that some of these players are carrying. And next week, they face Manchester City, a game that is going to be extremely pivotal for them to win, both mentally and as a spur to try and show how strong they are as a contender for the title. This game, though, I think they are going to take it. I'm going to have them winning it 3-0. But Arsenal do need to raise their game up a little bit more. Thereafter, we have West Ham hosting Sheffield United. Sheffield United had probably one of the worst moments that a Premier League team has ever had, losing 8-0 at home to Newcastle. It doesn't get any worse than that. Now, the soul-sapping loss that they had the week before when they lost 2-1 to Tottenham had looked very harsh on their performance. And I had thought that they were able to probably try and nick a draw against Newcastle. However, that was not the case. This game, I do see going as more of the same because I think West Ham have started the season very well. Sheffield United, while they have looked as though they can try and get some results, are coming off of two very devastating losses. One where it was stolen away from you towards the end of the game, and one where you were not in the running at all during the game. I see West Ham winning it 2-0 simply because I do think that both teams are on opposite ends of trajectories. West Ham are doing very well, but on the other hand, Sheffield United are struggling a lot. So I have them winning this game 2-0. I don't think it's a no-brainer that Sheffield United need to get some more inspiration because they look as though they are going to be doomed for the drop. We have Everton against Luton Town. Luton is one of those teams that we all are afraid for simply because they just look so off the pace. You need to have a very good transfer window to be able to try and counteract the mentality that a lot of people have, especially since you've not played in the top tier for almost 30 years. I have them losing this game 1-0 against Everton because I think Everton have shown that they are able to get results. The result that they got against Brentford last week was nothing to sniff at, but Luton, on the other hand, have not shown any reason to why I think they will be able to survive. They drew against 10-man Wolves, who are not very good at scoring goals. This game is probably going to be one that is a relegation 6-pointer. Whoever wins this game is going to gain even more confidence, and I just think that Everton are in a better position to get all 3 points. Goodison Park is due for a victory because they haven't won there in a while. And I think that Luton Town are going to be the first victims. And then we have Tottenham against Liverpool, the game that everybody will want to watch this week. Tottenham are coming off of a very good performance against Arsenal in the North London derby, and Liverpool have been on a very good run of form, beating West Ham 3-1 at Anfield. This game is going to be extremely interesting to watch because I want to see who is going to win the midfield battle in this game. Up front, Son himself has been extremely good for Tottenham, especially since they don't have Harry Kane anymore. They are sharing the goals around. The team has had a huge lift from Ange Postecoglou because he seems to be managing them very well tactically and managing their egos as well. He is making them feel as though they are part of this title race, or at least the top 4 race, and it's going to be interesting to see what kind of tactics they're going to employ against Liverpool. Liverpool have not lost this fixture since 2017, when they lost the game 4-1 at the Wembley Stadium, I believe. They have a very good record against Tottenham, and they even beat them in the Champions League final a few seasons ago. So it seems as though this game is written in the stars that Liverpool will win it simply because of their record. However, we saw them do the same thing against Newcastle, where Newcastle seemed as though they would be the favorites and they would kick on. And for large parts of that game, it looked as though it was going to be way above Liverpool's ability to get a result. So my prediction for this game is going to follow the same trend. Liverpool are going to win this game 3-2. Now, I think that Liverpool are one of those sides that just seem to have a very good muscle memory whenever they face teams that they have a good record against. And Tottenham, while they are playing very well, might be victim of that buoyancy that they might come into this game thinking they are able to compete with Liverpool. Liverpool have been starting games off very slowly. And I think that this game is going to be very tough for them to come back to if they start off slowly again. But at the same time, Jurgen Klopp seems to have a way of in-game tactics that switch the flow of play in his favor. Now, Ange Postecoglou also seems to be able to do that. We saw that against Sheffield United. Now, we're just going to have to wait and see who's going to be the better tactician in this game. I do think that Jurgen Klopp's side might start off slower. And if Tottenham Stadium is bouncing, it's going to be hard to counteract that. But they seem to have a way of bringing themselves back into the match. And that's what's going to be interesting for me, to see who of Maddison and Yves Bissouma is going to win against Curtis Jones, McAllister, and Szoboszlai, who I have unbounding respect for. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. It's very hard to call because both sides are playing very well. But I am going to rely on the fact that Liverpool just seem to know how to win these types of games. I'm not going to be surprised if the game ends as a 2-2 draw, but I have it as 3-2 simply because I think it's going to be a high-scoring game because both sides show very good attacking intent. And then on Sunday, we have Nottingham Forest against Brentford. This game I found very hard to call, but I do have Nottingham Forest winning it 2-1. Brentford seem to be on the slide at the moment, and they haven't won any of their last 4 games. Nottingham Forest are a team that want to play on the counterattack, even if they play at home. I think that they're going to be able to take advantage of Brentford's lack of confidence. Vissa and Maupay are not really scoring the goals at the moment, and they seem to be really missing Ivan Toney. As such, I have them losing this game 2-1. I think that Nottingham Forest are going to be able to try and counterattack them. This is the type of game that you would normally see Brentford be able to win, but at the moment, I don't see them being able to churn out performances like they did at their heyday last season. And then we finish off the weekend on Monday when Fulham take on Chelsea. Fulham have only won 2 Premier League meetings against Chelsea. That is a terrible record to try and bring into this game. However, they did win against them last season at Craven Cottage. Fulham had a better team last season, however. I do remember them not having Mitrovic in that game, and they're not having him this season. You could kind of see them being able to compete in this game. It's very hard for me to call Chelsea because mentally I still see them as that side that was winning trophies over the last 10 to 15 years, but they are not that side anymore. And in a game that is a derby, I think that Fulham might be able to cause them serious amounts of problems. I have this game finishing 1-1. I'm going to give Chelsea the credit of being able to try and soothe a little bit of the crisis that they've been going through. They did beat Brighton during the midweek, so I think that they would be good for a point in this game. However, when confidence is low, it is very hard to get results, and Mauricio Pochettino doesn't seem to have the answers at the moment. I think Fulham are going to be solidly in mid-table. And at this point, Chelsea look as though they will be solidly in mid-table if they don't turn things around. But Chelsea need to start creating more chances and they need to be putting them away. So Nicholas Jackson scored a few goals during the week, and that should give him some confidence. The one thing that he needs to do is cut off his petulant yellow cards that he gets from kicking the ball away or trying to stop free kicks and whatever it is. And Mauricio Pochettino needs to start becoming more of the authoritarian figure in the club. And once he does find his starting 11 and he knows each and everybody's strengths, then maybe we might see a different Chelsea. But in this game, I have them drawing 1-1 away to Fulham. But let me know what you think. It's been your boy Izzy. Thank you for watching. I will catch you this weekend when we do all the reviews. Peace.